Okay, hi everyone. We're going to give it a few seconds for everyone to join us. If you're here already, welcome. You are in the right webinar. This is the Solent Apprenticeship Hub webinar with DA training. Okay, so if you're here, welcome. So what we're doing today is a webinar about outdoor learning. And you'll see there we've got Gary from DA training. He's going to lead the webinar and talk to you about today's topic. This is one of a number of webinars we've done on individual apprenticeship standards. So if you'd like to check out our YouTube, you can see the other editions of this particular webinar, doing business admin, engineering, etc., etc. But today we're focusing on outdoor learning. So if you don't know who we are, just quickly, we are the Solent Apprenticeship Hub. We are an ESF funded project, and we are here to give businesses, schools, young people, older people, anyone who needs it, support on apprenticeships. So we give impartial advice and guidance, and we can help you with anything you need, really. So that's what we're here for. And at the moment, everything's digital. So as you can imagine, there might be some hiccups. You might hear the odd dog barking, probably be my dog. And if anyone dips out, just give us a second and we'll do our best to pick it back up. Okay, so there'll be a chance for questions at the end. So on your screen, you'll see that there's a little pop-up and you can see that it says chat or Q&A. If you click on the Q&A, I think Tom's probably just put in there now that you can ask your questions there. So once Gary's finished with his presentation, I'll put back up and we'll answer all your questions if we can. So I'll hand over to you, Gary. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this webinar, as Sarah's just said. I'm going to give you an introduction to outdoor learning today. With what's gone on, outdoor learning has become a massive agenda across the sector and across education as a whole. And what I want to do is kind of talk to you guys about how you can bring outdoor learning into what you do. So a little bit of background. I'm director of DA Training Consultancy based over in Botley. I'm also a volunteer curriculum advisor for Scout Headquarters. I'm an active assistant group Scout leader in charge of what we call the Top Awards, which is sort of Duke of Edinburgh and the Chief Scout Awards. I'm also a county training advisor for Wood Badges and First Aid, and also part of the Trailblazer Consulting Group on the development of the Outdoor Learning Specialist Level 5 Apprenticeship, which is currently going through the process at the moment. Just a little point of note for you, just down in the bottom of my screen, I've put some really interesting quotes all about outdoor learning. They're just really nice sort of token things to maybe have a think about each morning. I think Tom's going to send my presentation out after the session today, and just have a little bit of reflection about outdoor learning. So as I said, DA Training Consultancy, we're a national training consultancy provider based over in Botley. And there's a nice little picture of our office there. We deliver funded training for apprenticeships, skills for the workforce, redundancy support, and commercial training and e-learning. Most importantly, with regards to the outdoor learning, we're also members of the Institute for Outdoor Learning. So the current guidance, this has been updated very, very often, very, very frequently, and changes all the time. So this was sort of as of the 1st of June. The Prime Minister has indicated a gradual reopening of schools, as I'm sure some of you are aware, and early year settings. And the guidance around implementing protective measures in education and childcare settings has recommended that we consider what lessons or classroom activities could take place outdoors. The Consortium, and I'll explain who the Consortium are in a moment, they believe that helping schools to deliver these programs of regular progressive lessons outside will make a significant contribution to the following points. So, enabling schools to deliver their curriculum safely and effectively, delivering benefits to pupil health and well-being, both at home and school, building a better home-school learning partnership, so enabling teachers to develop consistent learning experience for all their pupils, whether it's school at home, and mitigate against widening inequalities resulting from school closures. So what that kind of means in a nutshell is the government is saying, in order for us to get back to some sort of normality, we need to get the children back learning. Mixed views on that from various different people and organisations, and again, it's very much down to the individual. However, what we can do as education providers is make it the best experience possible, something positive for the children to really take out of this experience. And going back to when I was at school, I remember the days when, if it was sunny, we'd go and sit down with our books on the playing field. And we're kind of getting back to that now. So the consortium are various different groups and alliances, and they've come together, and they're facilitated by the Council for Learning Outside the Classroom, CLOTC. I'm not even going to pronounce what that stands for. But with the support of the Outdoor Education Advisors Panel and the Institute for Outdoor Learning, this consortium represents all these following key groups. So we've got the OEAP, we've got the Institute for Outdoor Learning, we've got the Adventurous Activities Industry Advisory Committee, and all the other ones you can see in front there. So what they're basically doing is representing all of these bodies and saying, yeah, we'll help these people implement the curriculum, help them take learning outdoors. And that information may not have been passed down to you guys just yet. I've got on my notes on the slide lots of different organisations that these help represent. And when the slides come out, you'll sort of be able to see these and go to them if you want some support. So as I said, the consortium represents these bodies and associations with unprecedented reach into the networks of organisations and professionals that can help schools with their crisis management and to take their curriculum delivery outside. I'm sure there's been planning meetings at just about every educational and early years setting, looking at how are we going to do this? What can we implement safely? There is support out there. That's what I'm trying to get to. There's so many people you can help support. Some will charge for it, unfortunately. There's still businesses as well that need to survive, but some people will offer this advice and support for free. There's an immediate opportunity here to harness the extensive experience of these people and take their commitment to learning into schools and early years settings. As a member of the Institute for Outdoor Learning, we're working with the government directly and its agencies and teaching unions to provide a unified voice in response to COVID-19 and to try and help give ideas, give some context as to what learning can be done outside and how safely it can be done. We're also providing help around cancellation of educational travel and trips as well, and things that can be done to support learners and families around that. So what you might ask is how are we going to increase our capacity for outdoor learning? This is going to vary, okay, on setting by setting. There is no hard and fast rule. You can't necessarily say every school must take 3 classes out into the field to learn. Not all schools have that facility. Some will have more, some will have less. But what you need to do is you need to look at what you do have on offer from yourselves, but also on a local provision. Before you seek the support from external organisation or companies, you will obviously need to arrange a meeting with your school and the head teacher and any governance to make sure you've got this plan in place for increasing the outdoor learning. As I said, if you've got it, it's great. If not, it's something worth discussing as soon as you can. Things you're going to need to consider: what size of space do we have? How many children are we expecting back in? Have we done any risk assessments of the environment? And that relates to the children, the equipment, etc. The number of staff and ratios that we have to follow. Any safeguarding measures? What resources do we need to work safely? And how long will we be outside? All of these things are going to affect what we can do outside. So what space have we got? Have we got a field? Have we got a playground that we can use? Is there any communal spaces or open space, forestry commission sites, anything that we can use? Expected children, make sure we've got a contingency. Sometimes we might have more children turning up than we're expected. risk assessments, what people are around, what area are we in, what activities are we going to do, how are we going to get to these places. Again, resources, do we need to take things like hand sanitizer, water, wipes, sun cream, although the weather today doesn't really depend on the sun cream, but these are the sort of things we need to consider. Other things we need to consider as well about outside, how long are we going to be there, what drinks are we going to take, are there sufficient toilet facilities, if any. So they're all things you want to consider when thinking about your capacity for outdoor learning. Probably the most interesting part of what I'm going to talk about is the opportunities that lie within outdoor education. There's a massive opportunity to cover all of these areas of the curriculum: farm to fork, animal discovery, nature discovery. And these are just a selection of activities that I've pulled together that can all help with this and part of the curriculum as well. In terms of numeracy, literacy, and wider skills, there's fantastic things we can look at: treasure hunts, pacing, distance estimation, making a massive sundial on the playing field, taking a reading outside, looking at phonics, word identification. There's a real big opportunity for children to learn new words that they might not use during normal classes or normal learning, by taking them out and seeing it firsthand. Activity logs and journals are again a great way for the children to bring this learning and take it home and continue that learning. Wider skills, it's proven that children learning outside, they have better social skills, they have a much wider appreciation for the environment, they become aware of sustainability, less reliant on IT. There's no Wi-Fi out in the forests, unfortunately. You'll be surprised that in my scouting background, how many kids take their phones out when we go out to the woods expecting there to be Wi-Fi, and an antenna will suddenly pop up. It's about educating about we don't necessarily always need IT. How can this all help? There's loads of people, as I've said, that are out there that will come and help support schools in early years, like ourselves. You've got private consultants and companies that will come in, charge you a small fortune for their time, and that's okay if you can afford it. There's residential training courses you can go on, forest school, bushcraft, all of these different things to learn about various elements of learning outdoors. There's private training providers, again, like ourselves, or colleges that may offer these services. What is the interesting part, and certainly from my point of view, is these two funded options: the Outdoor Activity Instructor Apprenticeship and the Outdoor Learning Specialist Apprenticeship. I'm going to talk about those in a little bit. So I'm just going to leave the screen up here for 30 seconds just so I have a quick drink. Just to wet my whistle a little bit. So the Outdoor Activity Instructor Apprenticeship is a really useful tool to help support this outdoor learning and understanding how we can do this. It's a level 3 apprenticeship equivalent to 2 A levels, and it lasts between 12 and 18 months. Now that's based on how many hours a week you kind of work. If you work 30 hours, it might take 18 months. If you work 35 to 40 hours, it could be done in 12 months. So your Outdoor Activity Instructor Apprenticeship, it makes sure that the person knows how to supervise and guide children and adults in activities, pastimes, such as canoeing, sailing, climbing, all of those different things, but probably more appropriate to yourselves is bushcraft, rock pooling, geology, plant identification, habitat or wildlife walks. You're supervised through this program of learning where you learn how to program activities right the way through to evaluating them and looking at building your CPD around these knowledge areas. Okay. How do you get onto an apprenticeship like this? Be over 18 ideally. Now you can be 16 to do an apprenticeship. The only reason I say over 18 ideally is because of if you want to do some recognised national governing body awards, you need to be 18 for a lot of them. And again, to lead groups in certain activities, you will need to be over 18. So be over 18 ideally, but it's not the be all and end all. You need to obviously achieve your level 2 English and Maths if you don't have an equivalent already. Okay. You also need to not be afraid of mud, rain, and insects, and have a sense of adventure. And I've put that in there because what you do to embrace the outside is you really have to get your hands dirty. And there's opportunities when we go out and we look at foraging and we look out at bugs that actually you're going to be getting your hands dirty. You're going to be building these things. You're going to be getting wet. You might go in the river, but that's all part of being outdoors. Probably one of the biggest concerns for employers and staff is, what does it cost? At the moment, the cost of an apprenticeship is 5% of a co-funded contribution to the apprenticeship. And the apprenticeship is currently in a funding band of £6,000. So that means a £300 contribution from non-levy clients. The non-levy clients are people with a pay bill of less than £3 million. I put a little asterisk there because although you might fit into that group, I know we're certainly able to approach people, and I know the guys at the Solent Apprenticeship Hub sometimes can access other people's levy pots through what we call the levy transfer, and we can share their levy pot so it actually doesn't cost you anything. So any schools or people who work in county council organisations, potentially it can be paid through the county council or local authority levy fund. But I'm more than happy to discuss that, as I'm sure Sarah and her team are as well, should you be of interest. I put a little quote on here. This is an apprentice who we've currently got in a Hampshire County Council primary school who's on this outdoor activity apprenticeship. And she says, I'm currently part of the way through completing my apprenticeship. The course has really supported me in building a strong foundation for delivering effective learning outdoors. I've developed vital skills and knowledge such as planning, risk assessing, making adaptations, and progressing learning whilst being able to continue learning and applying it to my job. The apprenticeship has taught me the importance of self-reflection and evaluation, which has enabled me to continually deliver improved sessions that meets the needs and interests of the participants. The course is well organised and welcoming and comes with an approachable and knowledgeable tutor. So this is someone that's in a school setting and she lives and breathes the outdoors. She's a fantastic apprentice. And as I said, she really gets involved. And I'm more than happy to arrange for witness testimonies from these people to come out if anyone wants to speak to them afterwards. I'll see if I can arrange that. But learning in schools is a massive opportunity that we should take on. Benefits of being an apprentice. I'm sure maybe some of you have already been an apprentice. These are just a few of the perks you get when you become an apprentice. You get your apprenticeship NUS card. I think it costs £14 a year. And with that, you get your free Amazon Prime account, your 10% co-op discount, and there's over 100 other offers you can do as well. When you complete this apprenticeship, you're also eligible for Institute of Outdoor Learning membership as well. That means that you can certify your program of learning is to a required standard. I've also listed on here some links to the most effective up-to-date guidance that there is as well. There's stuff from the government there. There's some information about primary schools, and I've also put a link to the Institute for Outdoor Learning and also the Scouts page, The Great Indoors, which is a project that I was fortunate to work on, and where we've looked at sort of taking outside learning but into people's gardens, and there's some great activities if you're stuck there for things to do as well. So lastly, and last bit for me really here about the presentation, there's my contact details. Should you have any questions about outdoor learning, should you want some extra advice on how do we do it in our setting, I'm more than happy to set up a Zoom or a Teams meeting and talk you through some ideas and thoughts that we could have around your outdoor learning in your setting. And my contact details there, and I'm sure the guys at the Apprenticeship Hub will be feeding this out to you as well. So thank you for your time. And any questions, I'm sure Sarah will pull up and we'll come back to answering people's questions.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that, Gary. That was really insightful, actually, and really interesting. Some of the ideas you came up for the outdoor learning. I thought, oh, I hadn't thought of that. So, and also just to sort of repeat what Gary said about the funding of an apprentice via levy, and if you're a school, the councils are definitely there to support their council maintained schools with the funding. So definitely ask the questions either to Gary or straight to myself or whoever. We can make sure that you've got the information to have that levy available. So if you've got any questions, pop them in the Q&A. Just having a look now. Let's have a look. I can't see any questions at the moment. Famous last words, they probably all come through. Oh, here we go. So we've been asked, how long usually is the apprenticeship process? Gary, you happy to answer that?
Yeah, so it depends on your employer and what you've got to do. So the average apprenticeship takes between 12 and 18 months for the outdoor activity instructor. That's dependent if you do need the English and maths as well. I've got one person who is going to be ready for Gateway bang after 12 months or 12 months and a week as they should be now. And they're working 40 hours a week. They live and breathe the outdoors. They're completing everything on time, and that's great. That's fantastic. Then there's other people that take a little bit longer, may have some different learning needs and support, and that's okay. We stretch it so it becomes capable for everybody.
Fantastic. Okay, we've been asked, is there a maximum age for the apprenticeship?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
As this and any apprenticeship, there's no maximum age. We're seeing people unfortunately go through redundancy programs and who are potentially losing their job and looking to retrain. And if you've got a passion for the outdoors, this could be an ideal opportunity to retrain in something you've always wanted to do but never had that opportunity.
Absolutely. Okay. Oh, here we go. Are the apprenticeships appropriate for primary school teachers to partake? Is there something alternate to provide a primary teacher who leads outdoor learning / geography within my school? So I'll let you answer that.
Yeah. So a primary teacher, absolutely anybody can undertake this apprenticeship. There is no hard and fast rule to say yes or no, you can't. The only thing we'd have to consider around eligibility is, do you have any outstanding experience in that sector that's demonstrable? If you hold a level 5 in forest school or something like that, this apprenticeship potentially isn't the right thing and it wouldn't be the right way to put you through it. Certainly for school teachers, learning support assistants, it's a fantastic way of understanding how the outdoor learning concepts can work.
As long as you can work it around your...
As long as you can meet your off-the-job learning and contribute 20% of your work time.
Yeah, but we can... Exactly, and we can always help with that, Gary. Can't either do it at the hub or at DA. There's always ways and answers, aren't there?
The really good thing with this apprenticeship is the support we provide and the assignments that you do. By the time you've written them all up and completed them, it virtually matches your 20% off the job. So it's not something to ever concern yourself about.
That's what we like to hear. How does completing the apprenticeship fit around a full-time job? Well, you've answered slightly there, but I'll let you carry on.
So how does it complete around a full-time job? You need to be in the sector. You need to be able to have the tools and resources to complete the apprenticeship. It's not suitable for someone currently, say, who's working as a plant operator in a warehouse or a PCV driver driving a bus. You can't necessarily complete the apprenticeship while you're doing that because you haven't got the opportunity to maximize that learning and to engage with that learning process. So you do need to be in a position where you can do it. And as I said, a learning support assistant that maybe takes the children out on forest walks or does some outside schooling with them is perfect. An outdoor activity instructor, perfect. Someone that works at, I'm going to say Stubbington Study Centre because it's my local one, but anywhere like that, and other study centres are available. Places like that where learning can happen outdoors is completely open to this apprenticeship.
Fantastic. Another very important question: would you be able to help me find an employer, and how much will it cost me?
Yeah, so we would do what we can. We have some employers that we work with that we place apprentices on a regular basis. The other things we can do is we can also approach providers in your local area to say, hey, we've got this fantastic candidate, wants to undertake an apprentice. Have you got a vacancy? I know it's something we can help with, and I'm sure you guys at the Apprenticeship Hub can certainly help support with that as well.
100%, definitely. A very relevant question for now: how has COVID impacted vacancies?
Yeah, so COVID has impacted the outdoor learning sector massively in terms of practical delivery. What we've had to do at this point in time is take our delivery online, the same as I think 95% of other providers have done the same. But what it's done is it's given us a real time to focus on the knowledge behind what we do. So as you might or might not know, an apprenticeship is made up of the knowledge, skills and behaviours. And to be able to complete the apprenticeship, you have to complete all three. So this is a massive opportunity during COVID-19 for us to deliver the knowledge sessions, so that now that we're slowly coming out of it, and I've got some apprentices who are now back at work full time in this sector, we can now go out and we can do all the real fun stuff. We can go out on the water, we can go out kayaking and watch how sessions are delivered, but from a safe distance.
Yeah, I actually I heard on the radio the other day, Gary, I believe one of your employers who's just reopened in the New Forest, and
Yep.
I assume all the apprentices will be getting back there soon.
Yeah, I'm down there Monday.
Yeah, brilliant.
Can't wait. Shorts and flip-flops ready.
Okay, just a couple more we'll answer. Good question. What area do you cover at DA training?
So with this apprenticeship, we're really lucky. We're one of only a few providers across the whole of England that deliver this currently. So we actually cover from Kent right the way down through to Cornwall. And we will go up as far as the borders in Wales as well with this.
That's bigger than I thought, actually. I didn't realise. Yeah. Okay, so have we got any more? Let's just have a look. Oh, I can answer this one. Will the presentation be saved, and can I pass it on to my employer? Absolutely. So this has been recorded, and you can get in touch with us and we'll send it out to you, but also it will be on our the video of the webinar will be on our YouTube, and the presentation is available for anybody who would like to see it, if Gary doesn't mind, of course.
No, not at all. I'm more than happy for it to go out to whoever you like. And as I say, if any questions, just drop me an email or give me a phone call. More than happy to talk through any questions that might come up after this.
Perfect. So let's end on this one. I think it's a nice way to round up the whole subject. What are the desired qualities for an apprentice in this sector?
A passion for learning, a passion for the outdoors, and as I said, not afraid to get your hands dirty.
Definitely.
If you want to sit at a desk and write assignments and fill in spreadsheets and forms, this is not the apprenticeship for you.
No.
If you want to get out there in the rain, in the snow, in all sorts of weathers, then go for it. It's the apprenticeship that's brought a massive smile to my face. I've been in apprenticeships for over 10 years and I've delivered a variety of apprenticeships, but this one, I jump out of bed when I know I'm working on this apprenticeship. It is so enthusing and exciting to deliver that it's just a wonderful opportunity, and anyone that does it will really feel the benefits. We're putting on, through the apprenticeship, we're in the process of designing some masterclasses. So not only will you do the apprenticeship, but we are looking at designing a day where you'll come out and do a day's worth of bushcraft activities. You'll come out and we'll do a day of map reading out in the New Forest and foraging and wildlife identification. We'll go kayaking. Yeah, we'll go kayaking. You know, we're going to look to put on a day where you go kayaking and understand the principles and safety around water sports. and potentially even mountain biking and cycling as well. So we want to give apprentices a real opportunity to learn about these different things that they could bring to their schools and their settings as well.
That sounds brilliant. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's leave it there then. Thank you very much, Gary. That was brilliant.
You're welcome.
Hopefully everyone watching has found it useful. Just to reiterate, it's being recorded, so we can send you out the video, or you can watch it on our YouTube, which might be easier. You can have the presentation. Both Gary at DA Training and myself at the Solent Apprenticeship Hub and all the other advisors are more than happy to come and see you at schools, or if you're an apprentice and want one-to-one advice, we are all here to help. So if you've got any more questions, just look up Solent Apprenticeship Hub at email at the end. Gary's information is on the presentation. And hopefully you got something out of this. So have a good weekend, everyone. And thanks very much, Gary.
Thank you.
Or say bye. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.